Hello, knowledge seekers. In this episode of 20-Minute Books, we dive into the heartwarming and enlightening journey that is The Art of Happiness, co-authored by His Holiness the Dalai Lama, a Nobel Peace Prize laureate and the spiritual leader of the Tibetan people, and Dr. Howard C. Cutler, an American psychiatrist with a deep interest in Tibetan Buddhism. This remarkable book bridges the gap between Eastern spiritual traditions and Western therapeutic practices. Published in 1998, it brings together the profound wisdom of the Dalai Lama and the insights gained from Dr. Cutler's scientific background and personal interviews with the spiritual leader himself. The Art of Happiness explores the concept of happiness as the purpose of life and how it can be achieved through the transformation of one's attitude and a deeper understanding of the human condition. Striking a chord with readers globally, it remained on the New York Times bestseller list for 97 weeks, becoming a beacon of hope and guidance for many. This book is essential for anyone seeking to navigate the challenges of suffering, anger, anxiety, and other negative mental states. It offers a unique perspective that combines the best of Tibetan Buddhist teachings with contemporary scientific insight, making the pursuit of happiness not just aspirational, but achievable. The Dalai Lama, despite living in exile since 1959 due to the annexation of Tibet by Chinese forces, continues to inspire millions with his messages of peace, resilience, and compassion. Dr. Cutler complements these teachings with his expertise in Western psychology, making The Art of Happiness a universally relatable and deeply moving guide to finding lasting joy in our lives. If you're intrigued by the intersection of spiritual and psychological paths to well-being, or simply looking for ways to deal with negative emotions and cultivate a happier life, this episode is for you. Join us as we explore the timeless wisdom and practical advice The Art of Happiness has to offer, and how it can transform your approach to everyday living. The Art of Happiness, a Handbook for Living. Introduction. Unlocking the Secret to Enduring Joy. Why happiness truly comes from within. In the relentless pursuit of happiness, we often find ourselves looking outward, believing that the next big win, the next achievement, will finally make us feel complete. But have you ever paused to notice how fleeting that joy is? The Dalai Lama, a beacon of wisdom and peace, invites us on a journey to discover a profound truth. Happiness isn't a treasure to be found in the external world. It's a state of being that we cultivate within. Consider the momentary thrill of a lottery win or the sharp pang of tragedy. These events undoubtedly ripple through our lives, but they don't hold the power to permanently alter our happiness quotient. Why? Because that baseline of happiness, our personal set point of joy, has deeper roots. It's tied not to the whims of fortune, but to the state of our minds. The example of sudden wins or losses illustrates a universal principle. What happens to us matters less than how we respond to it. Our responses are filtered through the lens of our mental state, which can distort even the most benign situations into threats or irritations if we're steeped in negativity. On the flip side, a mind trained in positivity can find peace and even joy in challenging circumstances. The Dalai Lama doesn't just present this wisdom, he offers a path forward. By engaging in a thoughtful, deliberate practice of mind training, we can shift our mental habits. It's about leaning into the positive, easing away from the negative, and discovering the tranquil core that allows us to experience life fully and joyfully, regardless of what swirls around us. This isn't a quick fix or a one-time adjustment, but a gradual, enduring transformation. It's an invitation to explore the depths of our own minds, to cultivate a garden of peace that flourishes no matter the external climate. External events, no matter how dramatic or life-changing, have but a temporary impact on our happiness. The real key to unlocking a lasting state of joy and contentment lies within our own minds, in shifting our perspective and learning to cultivate a state of mental well-being. As we delve deeper into the importance of compassion, intimacy, and spirituality in our journey toward happiness, remember, The ultimate source of joy isn't found in the external world, but in the sanctuary of our own minds. Part 1. Embracing Compassion, a pathway to true happiness and well-being. In the heart of the teachings of the Dalai Lama lies a powerful prescription for happiness, one that transcends the boundaries of religion and culture, the practice of universal compassion. This profound concept extends far beyond the simple empathy we might feel towards our loved ones. It is a radical embrace of kindness that touches every creature, from the people we hold dear to the strangers we pass in the street, and even the smallest of suffering beings. Compassion, as explained by the Dalai Lama, is characterized by a gentle, non-aggressive state of mind. It harbors no ulterior motive. It simply wishes for all beings to be liberated from their suffering. This kind of compassion isn't partial or selective. It doesn't choose whom to be kind to based on personal preferences or relationships. Instead, it blankets the whole world, offering warmth to everyone without discrimination, whether they are our closest allies, our adversaries, or a fish struggling for life. The ripple effects of practicing such wide-reaching compassion are profound, both on a personal level and for society at large. Research has confirmed the multitude of benefits that come from living compassionately, including emotional upliftment following acts of kindness, and even a potential increase in lifespan. Perhaps most remarkable is the extent of a compassionate person's empathy. It knows no barriers, recognizing no distinction between friend, foe, or stranger. But how does one begin to weave this tapestry of universal compassion into the fabric of everyday life? It starts with empathy, with putting ourselves in the shoes of another, no matter how different their path might seem from our own. Consider a situation where you're wronged or inconvenienced, like being overcharged by a cab driver. Instead of reacting with annoyance or anger, pause to ponder what threads of similarity bind you and the driver. Recognize the shared human experience, tiredness, hunger, the longing to be with family. By mentally stepping into their world, understanding blooms and anger dissipates, replaced by a compassionate connection. This practice of cultivating empathy and, by extension, compassion, paves the way for a life filled with deeper satisfaction and harmony. Through the lens of compassion, every interaction becomes an opportunity to contribute to a more loving, peaceful world. In embracing universal compassion, we embark on a transformative journey, crafting a life that doesn't just feel happier, but also profoundly enriches the lives of those around us. Part 2. Expanding the horizons of intimacy. Beyond romantic love for deeper connections. In the quest for meaningful connections and mental well-being, the concept of intimacy often takes center stage. However, the Western framework, which predominantly views intimacy through the lens of romantic love, might be narrowing our understanding and experience of deep, fulfilling relationships. This narrow view can leave many feeling isolated in the absence of a romantic partner, overshadowing the rich tapestry of relational intimacy available beyond the confines of romance. The Dalai Lama, with his profound insight into human connections, portrays a much broader, inclusive notion of intimacy. He shares heartfelt connections with a diverse range of individuals, from his tutors to the cooks in his kitchen, even finding common ground and space for intimate conversation with the cleaner sweeping the floors. These interactions underscore a powerful message. Intimacy is not solely the province of romantic entanglement, but can be found in the myriad daily connections we often overlook. This expansive view of intimacy encourages us to seek and nurture connections not just with romantic partners, but with everyone we encounter. It urges us to look beyond the surface, to explore the depth of our relationships with those around us, be they friends, family, or even acquaintances. Moreover, the stability and longevity of our relationships, romantic or otherwise, hinge not on fleeting emotions or physical attraction, but on the foundation upon which they are built. Relationships steeped in mutual respect, appreciation, and a deep understanding of each other's essence are the ones that endure. As Mark Twain insightfully put it, the essence of perfect love unfolds in the patience of truly knowing and growing with another person, often over many years. The Western notion of love, with its emphasis on romantic love as the pinnacle of intimacy, may not only be limiting, but can also lead us astray from the potential for a myriad of meaningful relationships. By broadening our perspective and embracing a more inclusive understanding of intimacy, we open ourselves up to a world of richer, more diverse connections, paving the way for a happier, more fulfilling life. Part 3. Discovering the essence of spirituality beyond religious boundaries. Spirituality often gets entwined with religious practices, but the pursuit of a deeper, more fulfilling sense of happiness and peace doesn't necessarily require adherence to specific religious doctrines. In essence, spirituality transcends the boundaries of organized religion, offering a universal path to serenity and well-being. Research underscores the positive effects of devout religious beliefs, ranging from the harmony within families to the enhancement of personal health. Yet, the Dalai Lama, a paragon of spiritual wisdom, encourages us to recognize that the pursuit of happiness through spirituality isn't monopolized by any single faith. Indeed, all of the world's major religions can serve as vessels for a joyful and contented life. Peering beyond the religious framework, there lies a kind of spirituality accessible to everyone, whether they identify as atheists, agnostics, or devotees. This fundamental spirituality is characterized by inherent human virtues such as kindness, compassion, and an innate concern for the well-being of others. By embracing these universal qualities, we not only connect on a deeper level with humanity, but also cultivate a sense of inner peace and joy. Contrary to the notion that spirituality is synonymous with long hours of prayer or meditation, the Dalai Lama presents an approach to spirituality that seamlessly integrates into daily life. Imagine you're on the verge of expressing anger or criticism towards someone. Choosing, in that moment, to refrain and instead exercise patience and understanding is a simple yet profound exercise in basic spirituality. No mantras required. This practice of mindfulness and restraint nurtures a compassionate heart and fosters a more peaceful and happier way of being. In sum, while religious beliefs can indeed nurture a happy life, the essence of spirituality, a deep-rooted sense of connection, compassion, and goodness, stands independently as a universal path to well-being. It is a reminder that amid the diverse landscapes of belief and non-belief, the foundation for a fulfilled life lies within the compassionate and good-hearted nature inherent in us all. Part 4. Embracing life's inevitabilities. The art of reducing unnecessary suffering. At the core of human existence is an inescapable truth. Suffering is a fundamental, universal aspect of life. This perspective is more readily accepted in Eastern cultures, where the realities of poverty and daily hardships are more visible and intertwined with the fabric of society. In contrast, many in the Western world struggle with the concept of suffering, often perceiving it as an unjust anomaly rather than an integral part of the human condition. The fact remains that suffering is woven into the very cycle of life. From birth to death, change and loss are constant companions. Yet, the degree to which suffering impacts our lives often hinges on our mental and emotional response to it. Viewed through a lens of fear or seen as a punishment, suffering can feel insurmountable, breeding feelings of victimhood and resentment. Instead, acknowledging suffering as a natural occurrence allows us to focus on addressing its root causes within our minds. Our reaction to suffering can sometimes exacerbate our pain, leading us into needless agony. A prime example of this self-inflicted suffering is our resistance to change and our tendency to cling to relationships, possessions, or status. Life, however, is in a perpetual state of flux, and our attachments often set us up for disappointment and loss. Similarly, dwelling on past grievances or nursing old wounds keeps us trapped in a cycle of suffering. Consider the bitterness that can consume someone years after a divorce, where instead of moving forward, they remain anchored to their resentment and pain. Recognizing suffering as a natural element of life's tapestry allows us to approach it with a sense of acceptance and understanding. By distinguishing between inevitable suffering and the suffering we create through our reactions, we can learn to navigate life's challenges with grace and lessen our own pain. In doing so, we not only liberate ourselves from unnecessary suffering, but also open the door to deeper joy and contentment in our journey through life. Part 5. Transforming our inner landscape. The journey from negative to positive. In the pursuit of a joyous and serene life, the Dalai Lama identifies negative mental states, such as anger and fear, as major barriers. These emotions, likened to toxins, cloud our natural state of happiness. However, there is a beacon of hope. Just as venom can be neutralized by an antidote, these negative impulses can be countered and dissolved by cultivating virtues like love, compassion, patience, and generosity. The key to vanquishing the darkness of negativity lies in the consistent practice of these positive qualities. This approach shares a striking similarity with the principles of Western cognitive therapy. Much like the methodology that targets and corrects maladaptive behaviors and distorted thinking, this spiritual wisdom emphasizes the importance of acknowledging and then methodically replacing harmful thoughts and actions with constructive alternatives. Consider the example of an individual wrestling with depression who might be fixated on life's adversities, ignoring the blessings that coexist with these challenges. By redirecting focus towards positive aspects, such as family and personal health, a significant shift towards happiness can be realized. Embarking on this transformative path is neither quick nor easy. It involves a deliberate, sustained effort to foster positive emotions and behaviors. To instill lasting change, one must first grasp the necessity of this shift, cultivating the resolve and dedication required for this metamorphosis. This process is inherently gradual, often spanning years or even decades, dismissing any notion of an overnight solution. The Dalai Lama's own journey underscores the commitment required in this spiritual endeavor. His deep-seated appreciation for Buddhist teachings, cultivated over 4 decades, serves as a testament to the dedication necessary for meaningful change. His daily regimen of hours-long prayers is not only a spiritual practice, but also a continual reminder of the path he strives to follow. Just as the Dalai Lama has shown through his life's work, the journey from negativity to a grounded, positive state of being is within reach. However, it demands perseverance, repeated reinforcement of affirmative behaviors, and a steadfast belief in the possibility of transformation. Through such unwavering effort, we too can navigate the serpentine path from darkness to light, fostering a landscape within us that is rich in positivity and resilience. Part 6. Transforming Vision. The power of seeing positives in the negative. It's a common human tendency to view challenges or unpleasant experiences through a lens of absolute negativity. However, this fixed perspective overlooks a crucial aspect of life's complexity. Most situations are a blend of positive and negative elements, and it's often possible to view them from multiple angles. Consider, for instance, the discomfort of being seated next to an inconsiderate traveler on a flight. While it's easy to lament the misfortune, this scenario also presents an invaluable opportunity to cultivate patience and tolerance, qualities essential for personal growth. Embracing this mindset not only allows us to navigate minor inconveniences with grace, but also offers a profound way to confront more significant adversity. When faced with obstacles, instead of succumbing to despair with questions like, "Why me?" we can choose to see these moments as catalysts for strength and resilience. This approach to suffering and hardship, viewing them as teachers rather than tormentors, can significantly transform our life experiences. Cultivating such an adaptable perspective requires what is known as a supple mind, a mental state characterized by its flexibility and openness to alternate viewpoints. Acquiring this supple mindset is attainable for anyone willing to commit to consciously shifting their perspective when confronted with adverse situations. A supple mind, however, might be misconstrued as a sign of indecisiveness or inconsistency, especially within societal paradigms that praise rigid value systems. Yet, the Dalai Lama suggests that true wisdom lies in distilling one's values to their most essential principles. These foundational beliefs can then flexibly apply to a myriad of daily situations without the need for specific, stringent rules that may not always be relevant. Mastering the art of finding the silver lining in every cloud is not instantaneous. It's a skill that requires time, patience, and consistent practice. Just as a tree takes years to develop the strong roots necessary to withstand a storm, we too must cultivate resilience and a positive outlook well in advance of life's inevitable tempests. This proactive approach not only prepares us for future challenges, but enriches our everyday experiences, allowing us to thrive in the face of adversity. By learning to shift perspectives and see the positive aspects of seemingly negative events, we embark on a journey of personal transformation that enhances our ability to find joy, meaning, and strength in all of life's experiences. Part 7. Navigating through storms of anger with the compass of patience. Amid the myriad emotions that dance through the human psyche, anger and hatred stand out as formidable adversaries to our pursuit of happiness. Like a tempest, anger can sweep in swiftly, capsizing our peace of mind and leaving our sense of judgment in ruins. In its wake, actions often follow that further fan the flames of our fury, trapping us in a cyclone of escalating negativity. Moreover, the impact of anger extends beyond the emotional, with scientific studies linking chronic anger to significant adverse health outcomes, including an increased risk of heart disease. Yet, quelling the flames of anger is not a matter of mere suppression, nor is it found in the cathartic release of venting. Both approaches, in fact, risk deepening the roots of anger rather than extracting them. The path to tranquility lies instead in cultivating the antidotes to anger, patience, and tolerance. These virtues, often developed through practices such as meditation, offer a counterbalance to the disruptive forces of anger, enabling us to regain our equilibrium. The genesis of anger is frequently a discontented state of mind, a breeding ground for stress and frustration that lowers our threshold for irritation. Recognizing this, the pursuit of inner contentment emerges as a critical, preventative measure against anger's pull. By reducing stress and fostering a sense of calm, we can elevate our threshold for agitation, making us less susceptible to the pangs of anger. In moments where anger threatens to overtake us, the combined wisdom of the Dalai Lama and contemporary scientific research advocates for a pause. A momentary retreat to assess the roots and ramifications of our anger. Through this introspective pause, we question the origins of our anger, its rationality, and its potential impact. Is this anger feeding a cycle of negativity, or can it be channeled into constructive action? By approaching our anger with reason, seeking to understand rather than react, we open the door to replacing our hostility with thoughts of patience and tolerance. This approach does not just dilute our anger in the present moment, it lays the groundwork for a more serene and resilient disposition. By consistently choosing to navigate our way through anger with patience and a deep-seated tolerance, we cultivate a sanctuary within, a place of calm in the midst of life's inevitable storms. Part 8. Building Bridges. To confidence, overcoming anxiety with self-awareness. Fear, anxiety, and worry weave through the human experience, manifesting as natural reactions to life's uncertainties. While these responses can serve as momentary signals, constant or excessive anxiety harbors the potential to snowball into profound mental and physical ailments, jeopardizing our well-being. In addressing the tentacles of anxiety, the Dalai Lama prescribes a method akin to cognitive intervention, a cornerstone of Western psychiatry. This approach involves confronting the thoughts that breed anxiety and replacing them with more constructive, positive contemplations. Consider the butterflies that accompany the thought of asking someone out on a date. By dissecting the motivation behind this action, recognizing it as a gesture of kindness rather than personal gain, we can significantly diminish the power of anxiety. It is this sincere evaluation of our intentions that often lights the way through the fog of fear. Underneath the surface of anxiety often lies a chasm of low self-confidence, a shadow that can extend across many aspects of our lives. The antidote, as proposed by the Dalai Lama, is a transparent honesty with ourselves and others about what we can and cannot do. This acceptance does not weaken our self-esteem. Rather, it anchors it in reality, enabling us to navigate our limitations with grace and authenticity. In its more severe forms, low self-esteem can spiral into self-hatred, pushing individuals into a dark corner where their own worth becomes invisible to them. Counteracting this extreme requires a profound recognition of the inherent intellect and potential for growth within each of us. Embracing this understanding as a daily practice can illuminate our innate value, casting out the shadows of self-doubt. This perspective is not merely theoretical, but is woven into the fabric of Tibetan society through regular meditation, casting self-hatred as a foreign concept. By cultivating a mindful awareness of our thoughts, motives, and capabilities, we can dismantle the barriers of anxiety and self-doubt, setting the stage for a life marked by confidence and inner peace. Final summary. The essence of achieving a deep, lasting sense of happiness lies not in the myriad external factors we often chase, wealth, status, or fleeting pleasures, but in the disciplined cultivation of our inner mental landscape. Drawing from the profound insights shared in this book, it becomes clear that by nurturing compassion, spirituality, and mental flexibility, we equip ourselves to face life's inevitable challenges with grace and resilience. Embarking on the journey to lifelong contentment. The quest for enduring happiness is universal, yet often misguided by the belief that external achievements can provide lasting fulfillment. The truth, as rooted in the wisdom shared within these pages, reveals a different path. It's the state of our mind, our thoughts, perceptions, and reactions, that holds the key to genuine happiness. Fostering connections, embracing spirituality. The richness of life is found in the connections we forge, not just in romantic entanglements, but in the broader, deeper connections shared with those around us. By expanding our understanding of intimacy and adopting a perspective that values all forms of connectedness, we open our hearts to a more profound sense of belonging and joy. Similarly, spirituality, untethered from the confines of specific religious doctrines, offers a beacon of light, guiding us toward inner peace. It is in the basic human values of kindness, compassion, and mutual respect that we find a shared spirituality, accessible to believers and non-believers alike. Conquering suffering through understanding. Acknowledging suffering as a natural aspect of existence liberates us from futile attempts to escape it. By examining our attitudes towards suffering, embracing change, and learning from life's painful moments, we can reduce unnecessary hardships and navigate life's vicissitudes with serenity. Critical to this journey is the transformation of our responses to anger, anxiety, and self-doubt. Through introspection and a commitment to replacing negative impulses with patience, tolerance, and self-compassion, we cultivate a stable foundation of contentment, irrespective of external circumstances. The essence of the guide to happiness. This illuminating guide underscores a transformative truth. Lasting happiness is within reach, but achieving it demands intentional effort to mold our inner world. By embracing the principles of compassion, embracing a broad spectrum of intimacy, nurturing a spirit of openness, and confronting our shadows with patience and understanding, we unlock the door to a life marked by peace, joy, and a deep-seated contentment that endures through life's ebb and flow. Thank you for joining me today on this journey of learning and discovery as we explored the insights of another thought-provoking book in our growing library of knowledge. If you've enjoyed our time together, please take a moment to follow our podcast, give us a 5-star rating, and share 20-minute books with other knowledge seekers. Your support truly means a lot. Don't forget to join me again in the next episode, where we will delve into another enriching book. Until then, happy reading and happy listening.